You are making this a very hard podcast, but okay. Um,
Welcome back to another episode of Willpower, the podcast where we talk about the untold stories. Stick to the end because you might end up learning something new that you can apply on your everyday life. Today we have Leon with us. Leon, thank you very much for being here.
Pleasure, Will. Thanks for having me.
Good. Um, I'm very happy to have you here today because I know you for 5 years now. I would say for
Yeah,
five.
it's about that.
Yeah,
We met almost by accident, didn't we?
exactly. And I remember you were a life coach at that time, but recently you told me that you changed your job into spiritual coach.
Well, not so much. What I found was that there was a calling. I was doing spirituality with the organization Kabbalah. Kabbalah is a 4,000-year-old wisdom. And during that period, it's been about 11 years now, I just found that the more I was introducing spirituality to people with the life coaching, they were receiving it very well. So the reason I changed my name from life coach to spiritual life coach is that's what I bring to the table now. It's not purely spirituality, but the more I'm touching on speaking about the soul rather than just the motivation, the more people are resonating towards it. So
I
that's the
love that.
reason.
That's very good what you do. I really like it. I want to also share something with our audience, which I really like, enjoy. You said that you're gonna be turning 81 in a couple of
Oh
months.
my God, did you have to say that?
I have to say that, and the reason why I'm saying
Well,
this,
look, the hair's gone very grey, but yeah, go on.
the reason why I'm saying this is because I wanna know what does willpower mean to you.
Apart from it being the name of your podcast, uh, I just think it's I've been very fortunate. As you know, you're a trainer, so I feel great. I probably feel better now than I felt when I was 40. Absolutely, and not because I do anything special. Yes, I look after myself. I eat well, but I think it's a mental state. I think it's a most people, as the years go on, they they sort of embrace the age and they think they have to be a certain age. I haven't done anything in particular. There's no secrets that I want to share with anyone. I mean, I don't look 40 anymore. I'm aware of that. But as far as, cognitively, spiritually, and excitedly, that's not even a word, but let's use that. Um, I feel fantastic. I'm going to be 81 in January. Yes, I thought we were going to keep that a secret, but it's out now. And yeah, I feel great. And the idea that I actually started coaching, what about 8, 9 years ago? So I really took on a completely new career in my early 70s. I took on a new career, which is a time when most people are well retired. I took on this new um, profession of spiritual life coaching, and I love it. And I think staying active is the key. Retirement to me means that you're ready to die, and I'm not ready to do anything anywhere near that. So, from a willpower perspective, I think it's just been look. I just enjoy life, and I think that's really the key. I just
Li-
enjoy life, and I don't complain a lot.
Life is beautiful,
It's
I would say.
incredible.
Life
It's
is
incredible.
beautiful.
And, I have gratitude and appreciation all the time. Today I was walking down the King's Road, which you know well. And, what's to complain about? If my health is good, which thank God it is, and I'm helping people, and I have gratitude and appreciation. And that's a subject that I really like, gratitude and appreciation. People don't understand the power of it. The power of gratitude. When you have gratitude and you have appreciation, this is what I tell all my clients. I don't care if they're CEOs or they're working at Waitrose. It doesn't matter. Gratitude and appreciation is what creates a kind of a power in you. It resonates out to the universe. When you've got gratitude, when you've got appreciation, you create abundance. When you come from lack and shortage, you're shrinking your vessel to receive. That's part of what Kabbalah says. You're shrinking your vessel. In order to receive, you have to have a big vessel. It's logical. In order to have a big vessel, you have to have big appreciation.
And how can people access to that mindset? Because I know many people that they are grateful for their life, but they're lacking the mindset of gratitude. Because from what I'm understanding from what you're saying, gratitude is not just an action; it's also a feeling.
Good point. Gratitude is a feeling because you can sit there and write 1,000 times. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my flat. I'm grateful for my job. But unless you're resonating and aligning with that feeling, all those affirmations don't mean anything. And that's where people get they're mistaken when it comes to manifestation, because there's a lot of talk out there about manifestation. I'll just divert a bit. I'll get back to your question. And people think you can manifest by writing 1,000 times, I want a Porsche or whatever they say. It's all about feeling and alignment. It's got to resonate at a seed level. So you've got to believe whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever you're trying to manifest, you've got to believe it as though it's in the now. It's got to be happening now, not out there, right now. So what happens is when we're children, for example, and we get very excited about that Christmas present or that birthday present that we're getting, as though when we dress up as Batman or Cinderella in the case of a girl, we're feeling like Batman and Cinderella. We are Batman, Superman, or Cinderella. We've got our stick, it's a sword, and we're feeling like we're actually that character. That excitement, that childish excitement, that never really dies in us. It's always there. It's just been covered with layers of things called life. So it's layer upon layer. But underneath, that joy can still be tapped. And if we can tap that, then we can manifest. That's how we manifest. So back to your question, which was, remind me again.
How can people feel grateful without? I mean, normally
How
people
can
just
they feel
write it down,
grateful?
but they don't really feel it.
How can they feel grateful internally as an emotion rather than just saying I'm grateful? It's a great question, and it takes practice. It's a practice thing. What I tell my clients is the minute you get up in the morning, and the first day is going to feel almost ridiculous, start writing down 5 things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful, it doesn't matter whether it's big or small. I'm grateful for this cup of coffee. I'm grateful for this mattress that I just slept on. I'm grateful that my wife made me breakfast. I'm grateful that I got a roof over my head. So you start with whatever because we forget, we take life for granted. The fact that we got a place to live, the fact that we got food to eat, the fact that we've got a car to drive, we take it for granted. When we go back to gratefulness, and when we write down 5 things just every morning and feel them, after the 5th day, after the 10th day, after the 20th day, you start feeling that gratefulness. It's a mindset. It's a habit change. It's changing your belief system. It's celebrating life instead of taking life for granted. To celebrate life, you've got to remind yourself. That's why scripting on a daily basis, it takes less than a minute, whatever comes to your head. Sometimes you'll repeat it. I'm so grateful for my job. I'm so grateful that I get paid every month. I'm so grateful that I'm able to afford. I'm so grateful I've got food in the fridge. Basic things strengthens your gratefulness, and that's what gives you the willpower, as you say, to that's what created. That's what creates. That's what expands you with the universe, because the universe is continuously expanding, and that's what expands you to receive more. Com-
Wow.
yeah.
I understand that. Wow.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. Clearly, in order to create that mindset, what you're saying is like it's better to just be consistent as long as you can, and then the feeling will come over time. And you also mentioned manifestation and gratitude. I really love that topic. How can people manifest what they want through gratitude?
You are making this a very hard podcast, but okay.
No, I mean,
No, no, no.
I
It's a
totally,
great question.
yeah,
It's a
that's
great
the whole
question.
point of the Willpowered podcast. Clearly, we are
Of
here to
course.
understand how you feel about this.
You've brought the two subjects together. You've asked me, how can people manifest through gratitude? Because what they're doing when they're having gratitude, and when they've broken that habit of complacency, being complacent about everything they had, taking everything for granted. So when they're taking everything for granted, first of all, they've got no gratitude or appreciation. When they get back to gratitude and appreciation, they're opening themselves up. They're opening up. They're they're saying thank you to the universe. So they're opening up their vessel. We call it a vessel at Kabbalah, because a, a vessel creates a desire. You've got to have the desire. People say, I want this, I want this, I want this, but they don't have the real desire. And gratitude opens your vessel. When your vessel is open, you've got a much larger opportunity to manifest. You're already excited about life. You're already in gratitude. You're already in appreciation. So you're prepared to receive. When you're already prepared to receive because of gratitude, manifestation becomes easier.
I understand now. Wow.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make a lot of sense. And clearly we're talking about how people can change their lives through manifestation and gratitude. But I always been wondering why so many people don't notice secret. What do you think that happened through the years that make us as a humans less connected to this natural power that we have?
So the best way, I think, just turning that round, great question. We're moving away from the soul. We're moving away from the soul. And, I'm going to, we can talk about social media and Instagram and all that, which isn't fabulous for the soul, but it's in our society, so there's not much we can do about it. And it's moving faster, and we're all part of it. We're moving away from our higher power, from the soul, which is always pure, and we're controlling life with our thoughts and our minds. So those things like manifestation and gratitude don't come into play when we're continuously living this movie of Instagram, Facebook, social media, trying to achieve our goals, trying to achieve success. There's nothing wrong with success. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be wealthy, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to, create goals. Fantastic. But we cannot forget our soul, because right there's more power than there is up here. The power is always in the soul. The power is always love. Einstein said, the greatest power is love. And people are scared of that word sometimes, And before I started Kabbalah, before my spiritual journey, when people sort of said love, I kind of cringed, It was kind of like it was a foreign thing to me. Now I'm quite open to it. Love going from the head into the soul. Always ask your soul. People are confused. People are in clutter. People have no more clarity. People are in chaos, trying to reach their goals, going for success, trying to beat the other guy, chasing material things, getting the latest iPhone. That's clutter. That's chaos, right? The soul is pure. It's not cluttered. It has no chaos. It comes in pure. It goes out pure. So in there, in that soul, in that feeling of love, there is no chaos. Connecting to that is really how you can align more to the light. I call it the light. That's where you can manifest. When you're aligned with the light. You can't align with the light from your head. You have to go deep within. That alignment is the first step towards manifestation.
That was a very clear description of.
I hope
that.
so.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be a little complicated for some people because, not everybody is practicing Kabbalah. Not everybody has thought about spirituality. But coming back to the early stage of this interview, I'm finding more and more. At first, I was slowly introducing it in the fear that people aren't going to get it. I think I'm talking mumbo jumbo. But now I think people are kind of saying, give me more.
Yeah.
People are ready for it because the way life has been going, it's not working. There's more.
Yeah, there is more.
There's that Marianne Williamson book, which I love, A Return to Love. A return to love.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
You mentioned love, which is as you said, is a word that like people are scared about. But actually, what's love? Because I would say, for me personally, when I think about love, I think about my partner or my family or even my friends. But clearly, the way that you're describing love is not just one way of loving other human beings. It sounds like something bigger than that. So what's love in this case?
You've brought up a fantastic point. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a great explanation. You can love your girlfriend, you can love your wife, you can love your family. What else is there? What it is it's taking away the walls from your heart. Taking away the walls from your heart. Most of us have got this protection around our heart. We love our family, we love our partner or our wife, but we can't seem to give love out there. Now, when you think about the light, or whatever you want to call it, the force, the creator, the light or the creator or the force, or some people want to call it God, is constantly showering us with giving. You can talk about wars and that, but really, he is giving. The fact that we are here, the fact that he's given us life. He's given us life.
He is.
So we have that DNA. We have that DNA inside us. That life that he's given us, or that the light has given us, whichever way you want to term it, is part of our DNA. So we have some God-like in us, right? And we should be using that. We should be loving people because we are loved. So, and people close their hearts. People, you see people in the street, you get on the tube or you get on the bus, people fear interacting with people. There's a fear. You've seen it yourself. And the more we can open up, the more we can start each day with humility. What can I do today to make someone's day? What can I do when I walk into that coffee shop? It's not a lot. What can I do today when I buy my latte to give that girl an extra smile and say, how's your day going? That's all I have to do. And I've lifted her up, right? So I've created something already where she feels better. That's a form of love. Wherever you go, you can drop a little spark of love. And when you start living that way, you become like the light. You become like that, and you feel foreign when you're not giving love. It's free to give it. You when you give love, it's a sort of a circular thing. When you give love, you're feeling good. You've got love for yourself as well. When you make someone's day, when you give someone an extra thank you. And it's not like going out there and throwing pounds at people. It's just about humility, caring for others, sharing with others whatever you can share, and it doesn't have to be material, it doesn't have to have money. Sharing of yourself, making sure you're taking down the walls of your heart, because we've all got these walls around us. You've met people that are just naturally, people that just naturally love. You've met those people.
I did. Yeah, I did. I know many of them actually.
Yeah, and they're not embarrassed about it. And it's a wonderful feeling. You have incredible energy with them. We can all do it. That building walls around our hearts is a habit that's come from striving, having goals, beating the other guy, comparing myself to the other guy, being better than the other guy, not giving, not caring about anyone, just me, me, me. It's called living for the self alone. We've got to stop living for the self alone and share ourselves with others in whatever way we can. That's opening our hearts. That's love.
That's a great definition of love. I like it. And you mentioned already 3 or 4 times the Kabbalah. But actually, what's the Kabbalah?
Kabbalah is a 4,000-year-old ancient wisdom that's a breakaway from Judaism, from the Torah. When I say breakaway, it's the decoding. It's not the religion. And a lot of people say, well, isn't that just among Jewish people? No, Kabbalah is open to absolutely everybody. It's a 4,000-year-old ancient wisdom based on the tree of life. I'm not going to go into complications here, but choosing the tree of life rather than the tree of knowledge. So the tree of knowledge is what I know, how smart I am, how quickly I can make it, my goals, making my decision based on beating the next guy. The tree of life is living life with humility, not living life just for the self alone, loving thy neighbor. So that's what it's based on. It's a 4,000-year-old wisdom of how to conduct yourself in life, restricting your ego. And ego always comes disguised. People don't understand the power of ego. Ego is your opponent. So ego is the voice that's always talking to you on a selfish level. Go get it, be a doer, go be a go-getter, get this first. That's the tree of knowledge. The tree of life is respecting all humanity. And that's what we learn at Kabbalah.
And how did you get into Kabbalah?
It's an interesting thing. Sometimes when you hit a brick wall in life, you're looking for something else. And I had for me, and getting into Kabbalah doesn't mean that that something tragic has to happen for you to go to Kabbalah. But usually you find a path of spirituality when you feel pretty down. So I had after a very, very long time of being married, I was actually together with the same person for 28 years. I had a friendly, but for me, a dramatic separation. So there was a huge void in my life. And someone just, the right things come to you at the right time. Kabbalah teaches you one really important thing. That when you face any form of darkness, any form of trauma, any form of chaos, as painful as that is, this is what you learn in Kabbalah, that has been sent to you. It's being given to you. You should appreciate that as much as you appreciate the good things, because that's even more important, because that's taking you to the next level. When you start appreciating darkness or pain and really appreciating it, it's hard. You can still feel the pain. But when you say, this is actually being given to me for me to grow, or you can take the other one, become the victim, then you're not going to learn anything from it. This is being given to me. This pain, this darkness is being given to me for me to grow. It's not like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger, no pain, no gain. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just got to do with the fact that usually people are happy when everything's going well. Oh, I'm happy, I just got paid, or I just won the lotto, or what? I'm happy, I just got a new girlfriend. Life is fantastic, Yeah, but what about, how do you handle the dark moments? Do you become a victim, or do you realize that that darkness was sent to you for you to grow? And that's what Kabbalah is about. They teach you the wisdom
Yeah.
of embracing darkness for your next step to grow.
Yeah. It's I can confirm that it's like that. That after a very dark moment, there is most of the time. I wouldn't say always, but most of the time there is always a brightest moment. But it's very hard to accept the pain in that moment, because
Absolutely.
we have different sensibilities, we have different views of the world, with different views of situations, and what would you suggest to someone that is going through a dark moment in order to make them love a bit more and appreciate more the darkness?
You mentioned it's very hard to accept the pain. So what I'm saying from a Kabbalistic point of view, it's not about accepting the pain. You feel the pain. You feel it. But you know that it's taking you somewhere better. That doesn't mean that it's not painful, but in the knowledge that, okay, I'm feeling the pain. I don't like the pain, but I know I have to feel it in order for me to grow. And the more I appreciate this pain, the same as I appreciate something good in my life, the more it will dissipate and take me to my next level. I have to appreciate this pain, even though it's painful.
Wow. Yeah. I understand now. It's very philosophical.
It's
Very,
a lot of, it's probably a bit cryptic, and people will say, what's he talking about? But I have to appreciate this pain, knowing that it's painful, but in the appreciation of the pain, I also know it's taking me somewhere better.
yeah, 100%. And
It's a bit like, sorry to interrupt you, but it's a bit like, entering a marathon. You're going to run 25K or 40K or whatever the marathon is, this is painful, but I know I'm going to feel great when I finish this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even the preparation for the marathon is painful.
Yeah.
But the feeling of like completing a marathon is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that after a hard moment of your life, you got more into Kabbalah, and I will say that that's happened with many people. But why do you think that human beings, they normally wait to receive a very hard moment in their life to get more connected to a highest energy?
I don't think they wait. I think they in fact, that's a great question, because they shouldn't wait. Because, they should embrace being spiritual when things are actually good. But unfortunately, when when the truck comes and hits them, that's when they seek spirituality. It's just normal human behavior, because people think, oh, everything is perfect. Everything is great. And then, boom, there's a marriage split up, or boom, the business fails. They thought the bubble would never burst. And they go from being, in some cases, and life can change in a split second, just by the way. People don't realize that. Life can change good and bad in a split second. So people become very complacent. Things are good. I don't care about anyone. I'm fine. My family's fine. Everything's cool. I've got a great business. I've got a great wife. I've got great kids. Everything's fine. And it's not until bang, something happens, then they seek spirituality. But what we should all be doing is incorporating, a spiritual part of our life on a day-to-day basis. Because spirituality has an appreciation attached to it, because you're connecting to your soul. It has an appreciation attached to it. So don't be complacent. Don't take it for granted that everything's perfect just because it's perfect today. And don't wait until the trauma or the chaos comes before you embrace spirituality.
That's a perfect definition and explanation. Thank you for that. I'm very, how I can put this, because I know that you don't want me to talk about your age, but I'm very...
You've already done it.
Already done it. I'm very inspired by the fact that you're going to be turning 81 very soon, and you said that you changed your life at the age of 70.
Probably a little bit, probably 71 or 2.
71. Have you always been like this, or you just discover over time that you are a doer in your life?
It's really weird. The older I'm getting, the more excited I'm getting. And I don't know where that's coming from. I guess it's coming from practicing some spirituality. It's not even an easy question to answer. But actually, I saw Jane Fonda the other day. She's 87, the actress. And she was saying to an interviewer like yourself that she is more full of beans now than she was when she was 30. So I think it really is an attitude. It really is embracing life. It's really appreciating every moment in your life. That's what keeps you young. Appreciation actually keeps you young.
Yeah.
And of course, a little bit of mobility. I mean, we've got to eat the right foods. We can't eat junk foods. Am I a health freak? Probably not. Do I make sure that I put at least 70 or 80% of good stuff in my body? Yes. Do I binge out occasionally? Yes. I don't go as low as McDonald's, but sure. Last night I had a bar of chocolate all to myself. As you do.
Yeah.
And so, I live. But for some reason, I'm excited.
Yeah, I also know that you do boxing.
Yes.
How did you get into boxing, and how you keep?
It's funny,
doing
I
boxing?
was walking in the park one day and I saw this, they hold up the gloves and, the pads. And I was watching, and when the guy, I walked up to the guy, I said, have you got room for another student? He said, sure. So we discussed his fee, and I just made a time to see him on a Wednesday, and I've been involved in it ever since. It's good for mobility. It's good for brain mobility, and it moves every part of your body. I mean, I didn't know I was going to start boxing at 77. People sort of walk past looking at this guy in grey hair boxing, and I think, wow.
Wow,
So I get people going, good work, great stuff. I get people calling out in the park.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, I do kickboxing. I also do boxing, and I always know that the next day it can be painful in the body.
Yeah, but yours is really full on. I don't kickbox, but it can be painful. But it moves every part of your body.
Yeah, how do you deal the next day with the muscle soreness?
I do about 40 minutes with him. Mm-hmm. I'm okay. I like the high impact. I deal with it by going to the gym as well. I do a little bit of gym. I don't do anything in excess. In fact, I would call myself, if it comes to lazy, I don't mind being a bit lazy occasionally, as we all do. I'm also the guy that when the alarm rings, I'll take an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah. And have you always been as exercising for your life, or you just started
I did.
after?
I used to do a lot of yoga. I did about 8 or 9 years of yoga on 4 or 5 times a day, and I really think that that's kept me. That was like a bank that I can now. That kept me moving forward. But I don't know where the excitement comes from, but I'm excited. I'm excited now talking to you.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you here. It's exciting to have you here.
Yeah.
And what's the most important thing that you learn in life?
You always pose the hardest questions. The- Every failure, not to look at failure as failure, but to look at failure as a lesson, not to have any regrets. And I tell you why. If I wanted to have regrets, I could have a bunch of them. Just quickly, just history. I started as a fashion designer in Australia. I did some presenting on television. I had a short showbiz career as a singer, and I could go on and on and on. And I'm not trying to say I'm master of everything and I've got great talents. I had my own brand that went well for about 12 years, then it failed. Then I had health and nutrition. I lived in 6 countries, and then 10 years that failed. So I've had quite a few wins and quite a few failures, but everything that I've done has taken me to this moment of being a spiritual life coach, and I really enjoy this. So probably everything had a purpose to take me to this. So failure is just a lesson to take you to the next step. And many people don't bounce back from failure, which is a pity. Some people, they start something, it fails, and they never try again. They give up. Right there and then, they give up. So reiterate the question, what is your...
The most important thing that you learned?
Keep moving. Just keep moving. And be nice to people. Have humility. Mistakes mean nothing. And love yourself.
Love yourself is a big part.
Huge, and most people don't.
It's a big part. The guest that we had last week, he said, in order to be, he used this in that case, he used kindness, but it can be also applied with love yourself. In order to love yourself or be kind to in order to love other people and then be kind to other people, you need to be able to love yourself and be kind to yourself. Otherwise, that doesn't apply.
Also in relationships, if you want a relationship, how do you expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself? You've got to love yourself to attract someone else to love you. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Okay, we are almost towards the end.
Gee, that was quick.
Yeah, it's good.
I did about 95% of the talking.
And I want to ask you, when you are connected spiritually to yourself, because clearly Kabbalah is about spirituality, your job is also about spirituality and everything. When you wake up in the morning, what are your spiritual routines that you do, or even at night before going to bed?
Well, first of all, when I go to bed, I rethink the day. What did I do today for other people? What did I do right, and what did I do wrong, and what can I improve on tomorrow? So I just take a quick reckoning of what happened that day, so I can improve the next day. Mornings can be usually quite negative when people wake up. I don't know if you experience that. So you need to have some sort of ritual. You need to do something in the morning to break out that negativity, because you can really... I have a prayer that I say. Some people might... Everyone has a different thing. I have a prayer that I say. And, people are scared of the word prayer because they think, oh, it's praying to God. Find your. I have something that I do that Kabbalah taught me, okay? The best thing to do in the morning is to take 10, 15, 20 minutes and just meditate. And people think, well, I don't know how to meditate. Just be still for 10, 15, or 20 minutes, even 10 minutes, even 5 minutes if you haven't got time. Just clear your mind, just be still, concentrate on your breath. And if thoughts come in, which they will, let them in and let them go. So clear your mind in the morning, because mornings can be very negative. There's a whole thing that it's taught in Kabbalah where when you go to sleep, your soul leaves your body. So without getting too deep, it's sort of a form of death at that time, because your soul leaves your body and then it comes back into your body when you wake up. So you're still going through that repercussion of your soul leaving the body. That's why you get that touch of negativity in the morning. And I'm sure a lot of people experience a bit of negativity in the morning. It's not the time that people are totally positive. Meditation, I'm not going to go into, you should all pray. Everyone has their own individual thing. Meditation is the best thing to do. And yes, everyone can do it. It's not rocket science. You close your eyes and you concentrate on your breath and you just be still. And if you do that every morning, get into a habit, it's a great way to start the day.
I love that. And would you like to share your prayer with us?
It's a Hebrew thing, and probably I don't want to freak people out, so probably not. But
I mean, the people that they listen to this podcast, they have a very open mind, and we totally all understand that God.
I need the book with me because I
You
know
need
it
the
off
book
by
with
heart.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's basically just thanking. It's thanking the Creator just for waking up, just for being, just for another day, which is another thing that we all take for granted. Every day we wake up, why don't we have any gratitude for that? Why don't I have gratitude for I'm healthy today? There's nothing wrong with me today. Not when I get sick, I will pray. That's usually what happens. People get sick, and then what do they say? Help me, God. Why don't they say, I thank you, God, that I'm not sick? Why do they say, help me, God, when they get sick? First thing they say, when they get really sick, God help me. Why not thank you, God, when I'm well?
Yeah,
That kind of appreciation.
that's a very powerful appreciation.
Yeah.
And
I'm happy I don't have a toothache today.
that's also a good one.
I'm happy.
And what's the most important thing you will suggest to anyone that want to start to get into spirituality and then to connect more with themselves and then on a highest level?
First thing to be aware of when you're going to is that that consciousness is everything, and there is a higher consciousness. So we don't have to only live in our thoughts. We don't only have to live in this kind of flat life. There is a higher consciousness. There's a higher power. And just the awareness that we can go to that higher power, the awareness that that exists, just that awareness that a higher power exists, and we can raise ourselves to a higher consciousness, just in the knowingness of that, that's the beginning towards seeking a more spiritual life. You may not get to that higher consciousness straight away, but in recognizing and saying there's something else, And I wouldn't mind being in that higher consciousness, away from chaos, away from turmoil, because in that consciousness, that chaos doesn't exist. There is a higher consciousness. How do I reach it? Where do I have to go to practice more spirituality? So it's being aware that there is and then seeking it.
Wow, thank you very much for sharing this. And where can people find you if they want to know about a bit more about you and then clearly start
They
to
can
be coached by
find me
you?
on LinkedIn under Leon Kamer Coaching. They can find me on Instagram on Talking with Leon. They can find me on leonkamercoaching.com. So there's many places they can find me, Leon Kamer. I'm everywhere.
So amazing. You see, everywhere, every time connected to everybody.
I hope, and I like to stay connected. I enjoy it.
Love that. Thank you very much, Leon, for being here today with us.
Been a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to speak so much.
My pleasure. We learned so much today about spirituality and about Kabbalah. Thanks to you. Take care.
Pleasure. Thanks. Thanks, Will. Thanks again. Take care.